ever notice my thumbnail labeling, Manny, you notice that like one is always be like, you know what, I'm going with a different one.
No, see, this is the thumbnail. You decided to go with CM Punk and his rickety knees.
Yeah. And you decided to go with clickbait.
Yes, I go with clickbait. Have I changed it on the actual profile on the channel? No, I've allowed you to keep it with some Punk and his rickety knees.
Look at him. He's raging out, Manny. He looks like Wolverine. Green Shed guy made both thumbnails though.
Barely. He's barely in this one.
Yeah, but he's perving in the Liv Morgan one. He perving hard. I bet he zoomed all the way in.
Yeah, but the guy in the Dude Love show is perving hard to Seth's anus.
Oh, that's an intense stare. Well, on today's show, CM Punk gets his revenge. Liv Morgan makes a return. And I don't even know what the third thumbnail is. Oh, we covered the weekend in wrestling. Where Tony Khan's going, baby.
It's just, ooh, we're running through the lines.
That I don't want to do.
One of his various other WrestleMania songs.
Yeah. Starboard. Yeah. And then we look at these people. The new Harry Potter cast.
I don't like it.
Manny is already in arms. I think Ron's a little too ginger. And they should have made him fat.
Ron looks like he's doing well for himself. He comes from a middle class family. Same with Harry.
They all look like they're doing all right, Manny, but these aren't set photos. These aren't set photos.
And the girl is a diversity hire that they're just out there to check two boxes. She's there to check two boxes, female and of color.
What? They have Snape doing that one.
But he's not in this photo.
They do.
He's not in this photo.
He is. He's just too dark.
Yeah, no. Especially Harry. Harry doesn't look real.
These people aren't fake. That would be great. These kids never were real. They were cloned. These kids were posted their whole life to be these Harry Potter kids.
I don't even like these kids. These kids look too middle class. They're like, Daddy, I want to be in the next Harry Potter movie.
Daddy, but you can't. Do you care? This isn't for you. You had your Harry Potter, okay? They're grown men now, okay? They're out of the limelight. This is the next generation of Harry Potter kids.
Don't like
Accept them. Acknowledge them.
No.
Acknowledge them as their new Harry Potter.
No, I will not acknowledge them. I don't know what you just tried to do. I feel like you tried to touch me on the head and tried to bless me. Don't like what you just attempted to do.
I was trying to acknowledge.
No, you were like, I bless you in the name of the Father.
We're not doing no blessing on the show, Manny.
Well, you know who we are.
But now we know who you are because Manny was the epic guy.
Do you want to? Should we carry on with All In? I mean, not All In, Double or Nothing, where we left off with the Paragon on the watch long, because once they came out, it was like, here it goes.
Here goes the boom. I don't know about you, Manny. I don't know about you on the watch along, but my satellite feed kicked out. I don't know what happened.
I was like, fuck it, it is 4:30 in the morning.
But it was tough to go through it, and I don't think that they adding another match in between helped. I know it was supposed to be the cool down match and whatnot. It just didn't help the show being this long.
No, and I blame FTR and Nigel and Danny Garcia for ruining a perfect night of wrestling.
Yeah, I'm also blaming the Hurt Business and all that. I think it's time for Tony to just he needs an editor or somebody to say, nah, we can just leave this off.
No, do you know what Tony needs to start
it's not important.
Tony needs to start time managing these things. Tony needs to be going, do you know what? That match doesn't have that much heat to it. 10 minutes. Some of those matches did not need to go 20 to 30 minutes on that show, on that card.
The same thing of the night was accomplished if those matches, other matches would have been shorter. And you know what? The other matches would have benefited if they would have been shorter. People would have had more energy and juice for Ospreay and Hangman at the end. And if you didn't burn the crowd out with Anarchy and Arena and may put that on earlier, You wouldn't have burned them out and switch it up. I didn't understand. Or cut the stretcher match. Like, you didn't need all this stuff on the show. That's the biggest great play on the show.
And then you could have saved. You could have saved about an hour on the show.
Yeah, let's talk about this show. Let's talk about these shows going on. We had Saturday Night Main Event, we had Double or Nothing, and we had NXT Battleground. Who won the weekend?
Thing is, it's a tough one to call because I didn't necessarily enjoy Saturday night's main event. I don't think that was entertaining, especially with the amount of ads and how long those ad breaks were. It takes you out of it. When you actually break it down, normally when you get a 2-hour SmackDown, you probably get about an hour and a half of TV.
Mm-hmm.
When you break this one down, I think because of all the ads, you lose an additional 10 minutes of a 2-hour show. I think you get about maybe 80 minutes, so an hour and 20 minutes of actual stuff. And half the time, it wasn't even wrestling. Half the time, they're talking. What's his name was cutting a promo and going off on one. Jesse the Body Ventura.
He was right.
I mean, yeah, I don't enjoy Saturday Night's Main Event, and this is the third time they've done it this year, and each time there's never anything on it that I go, okay, I enjoyed that.
I didn't have a problem with Saturday movie. I thought it was an all right show. I didn't think it. I mean, I don't understand what they're going to do. Like, I'm used to the format. I don't think it's going to be anything different next time or this time. I understand that it is going to be a show just to have a show. Little progression into it. You get the return of Cody Rhodes. Basically, it's the big story of the show. Is that him and John Cena and Logan Paul and Jey Uso tag match at Money in the Bank. That's pretty much the big story from the show. Everything else was all right. I didn't have a problem with any of the matches. Everything seemed to just be all right. But of all the shows, it is the bottom of the weekend. It does make the bottom.
It's the bottom of the weekend, and then I'm gonna. Do you know what? Do you know what I'm gonna do, Marcus? I'm gonna commend AEW.
Oh,
I'm gonna give them stars for one thing. The show was largely good. They could have cut here and there. I don't care. That's playing one Tuesday quarterback today.
It's not. No, Manny. No, not because we saw it coming before. We saw it come before.
However, Marcus,
this is knowing the playbook.
However, can we give them an AJ Styles Bobby Roode pound for finishing a pay-per-view without incident?
We don't know that yet. Well, no. Did you not read the latest story?
No.
Yeah, we can dap it up. Come on, let's dap it up. AJ Styles Bobby Roode pound. Yeah, there it is. I don't know how it works. But this week, everybody that was involved in the Anarchy Arena is going to be out for several weeks.
Oh, yeah, but
because they're all banged up. They're all banged up. That's an incident.
No. When I say incident, I'm talking about, this person said this. Now it's a big scene.
Oh, you mean media scrub stuff? Or
yeah, like the last one, Swerve got into it with Booker T.
Oh, yeah. So you know what? Prayers be damned. But Manny, you do have a controversial. No, you know what? I'll save that for later. Oh, Manny has a take. Stay tuned for Manny's hot take.
Well, we can do it now, Marcus. What song was played at All In?
Doing Anarchy Arena, you mean? And you want to call it All In because you're pumped up, man. You look like you're gonna fly to Texas. You brought up All In so many times. Like Double or Nothing. What song? What you're asking me? What song was played in Anarchy Arena? And I'm going to say,
I'm so excited. And I just can't hide it. I'm about to lose control, and I think I like it.
Oh no! It was "Let the Bodies Hit the Floor," Manny. A classic from our youth.
It felt like they played that for 30 minutes.
Yeah. It went on and on and on, and the beat goes on, and the beat goes until I believe someone got thrown into a speaker. I can't remember who. It was right before the forklift spot.
Yeah. And then What tournament were they hosting on that pay-per-view?
But the Owen Hart tournament, man, the respect for the Owen Hart Foundation.
Yeah, and how did Owen Hart die?
I don't want to bring that up.
But what song did they play on during Panic in Arena?
We know we're getting that here, man. Just say it. Just say it. They said,
do
let the
you
bodies
think
hit the
it's
floor.
in poor taste to play Let the Bodies Hit the Floor when you're hosting the Owen Hart tournament final for the Owen Hart Foundation? Is it in poor taste? Now let me say this, where I didn't think it at the time because I didn't put 2 and 2 together. But the moment I did, I was like, ooh, there probably could have been other songs we could have played.
I wonder what, because Tony was like, because they say it's Tony Khan's idea to put this in. And I was like, I wonder what idea made him think of that. Was it no, it's absolutely, I'm going to agree with you, Manny, in poor taste. Do I think it was done in malicious or had intent, or is it just a coincidence, an accident? Because it's a badass song that everybody used to in their youth. I think that's what Tony went with. And I don't think it was meant to trigger anything like this. And I think it's an oversight. And I'm going to say this, I'm not offended by it, but I can see how people could be if they were to bring it up. How do you feel about it?
At what point do you think this is going to turn up on Pro Wrestling Bits and all these AEW hate counts?
I don't think it's going to come up. This is the first time I've heard the take.
So you mean I'm the only sick fuck around?
Yeah, you're the only one to put 2 and 2 together, because maybe it wasn't, because maybe the Paragon had one thing that was good about that match that I chose not to watch. It buffered the song of Let the Bodies Hit the Floor and the Owen Hart final tournament. I'm just saying it was a good buffer right there.
Okay, so we didn't watch the Paragon match, and I think it's safe to say that match happened. And okay. But the final of the Owen Hart men's tournament was Hangman Adam Page versus Will Ospreay. We have both watched it since. What did you think of the match?
Well, I would clarify. I watched it that night. I just didn't watch it on Scream, and I did still ignore the Paragon match. I think I just went to go take a shit or something. If you want to know the details,
long ass shit.
Nah, I probably did other thing. I've walked around and got... It wasn't that long of a match. I thought it was a fine match. I thought it was all right. I know I've seen people out there praising it and going like it's great and all that, but to me it was just okay. You know, it falls under the same Will Ospreay tropes for me, or big matches these days where there's just too many moves, not enough selling, and just to me the drama wasn't there. The only thing I would like to say about this match that what I enjoyed the most about this match, it's selfish, and I'm going to take this only for me, is that I was right. I picked Hangman the entire time. I was right. Will could go to the back of the line. Back of the line, Will. Back to feud with the Callis family. I was right.
Do you know, to jump on that? You mentioned this during the Mercedes Jamie Hayter match. Mercedes was wearing Owen Hart colors, so she was wearing pink and black. Yeah. Hangman was also wearing pink and black. I should have put 2 and 2 together.
Oh, I didn't even notice he was wearing pink and black.
Yeah, Hangman was wearing pink and black tassels on his attire.
He was, yeah.
The thing that was missing from this match, and you've already alluded to the selling, but I think, do you know their promo on Dynamite? Both of them alluded to why they need to win.
Yeah.
It never felt like they needed to win this match. Like there was never any sense of urgency when it came to pins, like being frustrated that you're not getting the 3 count, or you done what you thought. Oh my god, I hit him with that. That should have put him out. Do you know that type of pin? It's like kind of when you see them in the ring. There was none of that type of frustration. You've already mentioned the lack of selling, which they did a lot, go from move to move without really showing the effects of like being properly exhausted and heavy, like properly being exhausted, like, oh, I'm in pain, or the whole selling aspect of it. It never felt that. But the match itself was still good. It's just it's move
Gotcha.
after move after move. There's no giving something some time to settle. Like when we were watching LFG and the judges constantly say they rushed that.
Yeah.
That's what these matches feel like. It's like they've rushed to get to that end, to that. They haven't let an impact move feel like an impact move, or like the frustration behind after a pin. They've got straight up and moved into the next sequence.
Yeah, so I'm going to compare it to a match that happened also on the weekend. I'm comparing two matches. Kalani Jordan Soroka was very similar to Ospreay and Hangman in the lack of selling, and just went to move for move. It's just that Ospreay and Hangman are better at it and went longer. That's what I mean by that. And then the other match I would bring up is and it's not mostly the wrestlers. I would say Jesse Ventura sold this in the steel cage match with Priest and McIntyre. Maybe not the greatest match in the world, but they made every time they hit that cage or every time a move hit, it seemed like they were down. They were like, oh, this is it. And it had that little bit of, I don't know if I can continue or breathe anymore. And that's all I need. That's all I need. Just a little bit of that. I think they took 10 minutes out of the match, did a little bit less. I thought the end of the match should have been when they both went for their finishing moves, the hidden blade and the buckshot, and they Hangman connected. He could have just ended it right there. Instead, I think we went another 10 or 15 more minutes after that. But there's so many spots that I think takes it away from. And then you had Anarchy in the Arena on top of that, where people are blowing up and getting hit with all types of weapons, and there's no selling that. I just feel like, just make moves hurt. I think if you tell a story, I'm already invested in the characters. I want to see where it goes. You can do less for more. And I don't think they should be banging up their bodies for something. A lot of spots that I probably won't even remember. I won't even remember half of the shit they did.
Okay,
I probably don't remember a third.
I know we technically could have had a short show today, but I want to play a game. It's called Higher or Lower.
Okay.
So
will this game ever return? Who knows?
It could. Double or Nothing kicked off with Mercedes Moné versus Jamie Hayter. That match went on for 21 minutes, bell to bell, 21 minutes and 15 seconds.
Yes.
This match was followed by FTR versus Daniel Garcia and Nigel McGuinness. Was this match longer? Was this match higher or lower in terms of length?
I won't say it was longer.
It was longer by a minute. It finished 22 minutes and 30 seconds.
That's it.
Yes.
Why did that feel like that match went on for 2 years?
That match went on for an hour. It felt like at least 45 minutes. Ricochet defeated Mark Briscoe. Higher or lower?
Lower.
Yes, 16 minutes and 20 seconds.
But it did feel like it was just as long.
The Hurt Syndicate versus the Sons of Texas. Higher or lower than 16 minutes?
Oh, higher and lower 16 minutes? It's probably I want to say push, but I would say lower than 16 minutes.
Correct. That was 12 minutes and a half.
God damn, but it felt so much longer.
Yeah. Okada versus Speedball Mike Bailey. Higher or lower than 12 minutes?
Higher.
Yep, 16:05. Toni Storm versus Mina Shirakawa for the AEW Women's title. Higher or lower than 16 minutes?
Lower.
Barely. 15:49.
I'm good at muscle memory, Manny. I told you I'm good at this shit. I don't know
I'm gonna bypass Anakin in the Arena because that's an obvious answer.
How long was it though?
Anakin in the Arena, I thought was an hour long. It was only 35 minutes.
Was it?
Yeah.
Considering that they went through like 3 NXT matches in the middle of all these, it just felt like it just made it feel longer. But shout out to them for 35 minutes. And Will and Hangman is the next question, huh?
Well, you got the Paragon. Unless you want to ignore the Paragon.
I get it. Well, I'm just gonna say lower than whatever you said.
Lower than the Anakin in the Arena match.
Absolutely, but it was only 8 minutes, right?
No, so the difference. Oh, wait, you're talking Paragon. Paragon was
Yeah.
12 minutes and 50 minutes.
Yeah, I knew that was
50
short.
seconds. And then I'm just going to compare. So NXT Arena went 35-10. Hangman versus Will Ospreay, higher or lower?
I'm gonna say higher.
Yep, correct. 36-56.
Ooh. I knew it was slightly higher. I feel like it was slightly longer.
Now, if you would like us to play this game again, did you have fun?
I had fun, man. I enjoy being correct. Too bad I wasn't going against anybody. I was winning no matter what. But there's a lot of those minutes. If we were to cut out some of those 12-minute, 9 minutes, 8-minute matches or whatever, and matches that matter, we would have got people out in one day instead of a 2-day stretch of a pay-per-view.
I agree.
And we also learned that All In is, it's happening. And you said it starts at what, like 2:30 Pacific time or something like that?
Well, so this is the thing. WWE like to counter program AEW.
Yeah, that's where we're at right now. They're on the roll for doing this.
So all in weekend, they've decided they've got what have they got? Saturday night's main event. And I think they've also got the women's pay-per-view, Evolution.
Yes.
And
the Great American Bash.
Yeah. Are they on the same day? No, they're Saturday, Sunday, right?
Yeah, I think we have a Saturday, Sunday kind of deal. The Bash is on a Saturday, maybe? Evolution's on a Sunday.
The Great American Bash will air on the afternoon of Saturday, July 12th.
Yeah.
So on Cultaholics, they say an exact start time for Great American Bash has not been listed. AEW All In will begin at 2 p.m. Central Time, 3 p.m. Eastern, and I think that translates to noon Pacific.
Mm-hmm.
And then 8 p.m. British summertime, which either means AEW is going super long or it's going to end early, but who knows?
I'm just saying, due to time constraints, one, WWE's counter program is I don't give a shit. All In's the bigger show. They already got the day. They got the day. They've had it for over a year. They got the matches. Let
me tell you something. I enjoyed watching both shows with you and Eric on Saturday.
It was fun. Good time.
It was such a good time.
It was a good time. The dual screen and watching is the way this war is supposed to be, where you go like, this is counter programming. This is really entertaining. It took me back to watching Black and Gold NXT versus Dynamite on Wednesdays. When you can be like, oh, wow, they're really counter programming. However, I do think WWE's efforts to try to counter program AEW, it's just a waste of time. And whoever is watching the WWE product anyway, is it going to be like, well, I'm choosing All In, and whoever's watching AEW, well, I'm choosing to watch Saturday Night Main Event on the Great American Bash? No, you're going to choose your respective brands, and I don't think it decreases or increases anybody's audience because one is a paid-for event anyway. So if you didn't pay for it, you're clearly going to watch this. Maybe it's to try to keep people off the news, but as we saw this week, NXT didn't really draw much buzz, or Saturday Main Event didn't generate much buzz. I mean, they brought Cody back. That was a distant memory, and then Trick won the TNA title. Also seems like a distant memory at this point. So I don't understand what WWE is trying to accomplish by counter programming NXT.
I think you're gonna watch whatever you want to watch. I think AEW is smart never to counterbook WWE shows. I think you end up losing. I feel like when WWE do this, you end up like risking like something not selling, and you looking the fool. I think that's what happened.
And I also feel like them doing this, it just and it works the opposite. It makes me go, oh, AEW's on. It reminds me.
Yeah, it's like, oh, AEW's on. That's going to be the better show. Like that. I think it's just like whatever they're putting on is not going to even compare to what's going on over there.
Yeah,
at least you hope so.
There is nothing on NXT, and maybe I went through my criticism of Hangman and Ospreay again. Like I said, top tier, elite, blah 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 blah. Great match, 5 stars, whatever you want to say. There was nothing on the NXT card that could compete with that. That match. Wrestling straight up. There was no There's no star power on NXT that they have that could compete with that. Just to,
But
like, I understand if it was Cody versus John Cena, you go, oh, those are stars there. But Trick Williams, Joe Hendry is not competing with the interests of Anarchy Arena or even Hangman and what you call it, and Ospreay.
When you compare like the excitement we had, if you did it on a graph for both shows, if they were going together as a line graph, I think the opening match they would have been quite closely together going up.
Yeah.
And then it starts veering off into different places.
Yeah. It was like watching a sporting event, and you watch the teams, and you go like, "Oh man, we neck to neck," and then they go to halftime tied, and then you go, "Oh well, they're just running away with it now." like that's what it seemed like, and I'm talking about AEW's benefit. This is not an AEW like bashing. This was pro AEW. Their standards of the show increased as NXT only had maybe 1 or 2 matches to really go like, oh wow. And then at the end of the day, I don't remember a single great match from NXT. You know, the opening was fun, but that may have been because I was watching 2 matches at the same time that I really want to see.
Yeah, I there was nothing really that memorable on this card.
To quote Levi, you know, but main thing, Jesse Ventura honestly stood out the most on Saturday in that cage match where he was going the rules, talk about the brutality of it, and then at the end he was like, "Who walks out the door like a straight up bitch?" Like,
yeah,
I know those are not his words. Those are not his words, but that's what the echo was. Preach you,
but that's
bitch.
true.
You a buster. You just walked out the door. Although in the defense. And what I've learned from wrestling, walking out the door is the ultimate disrespect to your opponent because they couldn't even muster a defense of you just walking casually out the door because you should struggle to have to climb out.
That's more of a heel thing to do, Marcus. That's not a face thing to do.
It's kind of a face that I would dress. The heel thing was the concerto. Although Drew did bring the chairs in.
The report is that Drew McIntyre is going to be out for the foreseeable. I think that you mentioned he's working hurt, and he's probably taking time off, well-deserved time off after some of the programs he's worked. Let's get into Raw. Marcus, I really hated this opening segment from Seth Rollins. It was so long.
I didn't hate it. I like that I think this should have been. It could have been shorter.
Yeah,
but I think that was because of the crowd. It's the crowd.
It's the crowd, and basically, Seth Rollins spoke for about 15 minutes. But in essence, it was Seth Rollins. His master plan is to win Money in the Bank and obtain total power. There has been a news report that's come out, and I don't know if WWE can actually pull this off. They're thinking about putting in a no swearing rule for the fans. I don't know how you implement that because you pay your ticket, you're going to do whatever you're going to do. Unless you start throwing people out for swearing and interrupting the show, how are you going to do that? Because I'm pretty sure the majority of people do that in unison.
Yeah, how are they going to stop the chant? Let's say, Manny, I go, holy shit, you know, the usual chant. Something happens, someone goes through a table or whatever. I say, holy shit. Someone security's going to be like, all right, sir, you out. The crowd is just going to be trying, fuck that guy. It's only going to get worse. And I don't think...
just mute the crowd a bit. Turn.
Just let the crowd be the crowd. I understand they're trying to get PG and all that, or they've been PG and they want to keep it clean for children and kiddos, but they need to understand that this is a quote-unquote violent sport or entertainment show. And this has had these responses built in for many generations. You are not changing that culture of get rid of holy shit or you fucked up or fuck you solo, which is like the thing. You're never getting rid of all that. It's implemented in the culture. That would.
But how do you? Because you notice it even more on Seth Rollins' promo, where it was being muted. You can't.
Just let it go. Let it go. It is what it is. You know, like the best way to do is don't acknowledge it. You can do it McAfee said. I don't know what they're saying. I think they're saying something around duck. You can simply do that. Like, I don't know. Like, it doesn't matter. I don't feel like it matters. I think we're in the year 2025. If a parent is going, oh my God, I don't want my kid hearing fuck, then I don't know where that kid is at, because he can go to school. When I was a kid, damn sure they were cursing. It doesn't matter what age I was at. We were saying all types of shit. It doesn't matter if you're at home, you swear your parents aren't gonna say it. In your music, it doesn't matter. Like, cursing, I don't feel like should be anything that should be censored as much. Maybe it's because I don't have kids or something. But if a kid cursed around me and it was my kid, don't you say that shit. Like, don't you be cussing and all that. Like, you understand it, but like the kid, I think it's a waste of time.
So Penta took on Chad Gable and Dragon Lee for one of the final spots for Money in the Bank. So WWE allegedly spoiled a belt change that's supposed to be happening.
Absolutely.
Displaying graphic in certain. So this graphic wasn't displayed in Mexico, but it was displayed everywhere else, where Chad Gable was taking on El Hijo del Vikingo, and it will be for the AAA Mega Championship, at which the current champion is no other than Alberto Del Patron, or Alberto Del Rio.
Yeah, Levi, I'm going to get to your comments in just a second, but let me touch on this one. Yeah, they don't give a damn. They know damn well Del Rio's about to drop this belt. It's like, they don't want any connection to Alberto Del Rio or El Patron as it currently stands, due to his past and history with the company and his history with outside dealings. So it doesn't matter. And it makes sense that they are going to have a championship match. Here's why I'm going to
ignore the comment, just carry on.
Yeah, I know. Here's why. Levi had another comment of why is Gable darker than E? I'm assuming he means Big E, but I'm going to say the reason he's getting dark is he's preparing for that AAA championship. He's winning. He's bringing the title home, baby. He had to become an ethnic color to win that title. He had to get brown. No, he was too damn dark this week. And I want to touch on this triple threat match as well. I thought it was a really good match. Although I don't know if there's been a match where I went, so many times.
Marcus,
fear of death.
It wasn't even the dives. I think this may be the world record breaking. How many times can someone get dunked on their head match?
Yes. So the first one was, and I still don't know what they were trying to do, but Gable was carried in pile driver position by Penta, or Styles class position. Hold on, let me cancel that phone call, which I should put my phone on silent. I know better. So Penta has Gable in pile driver position, but Dragon Lee is on his back on the other side. I'm thinking they were both supposed to flip all back through the ropes or something. I don't know what happened, but Gable goes straight on his neck, like frontwards, awkwardly. In Styles class, like, on his head. Then there's another spot where Gable and Penta are fighting on the announce table, and Dragon Lee comes in at 1,000 miles per hour in a Manny, how about that dive moment when you just go, oh my God, I don't know how far
fast. He came in so fast, I thought it was Rey Fenix.
Yeah, but he came in so fast. I don't know if you remember the movie. Of course, you remember the movie Bad Boys, but the original where he's driving, Marcus drives like a bitch. At the end, he's going 100 miles per hour, and he beats the villain, Touche, to the little corner as they both try to fit through. Ridiculously, because he could have just slowed down and waited and caught up to his ass later. But whatever, they won the race. That's how you dive, Manny. That's where I was getting at. If you ain't diving like that, I don't want to see you dive. That had so much speed and malice to it, and it was so like, holy shit, I have not seen a dive that good maybe ever in my life. That might be the best dive I've ever seen. Then there was the corner thing where Dragon Lee lands on his head, and there's so many spots where you go like, Jesus, someone's going to die in this match. Penta wins, because Penta is the star and Chad Gable loses all the time.
Well, Vikingo also got involved because Chad decided to get involved with Vikingo.
He and our BBK. But overall, I thought this was a great triple threat match. It's the triple threat match to beat of the week so far. As there isn't, there's probably one more on SmackDown, I think, or some more on NXT. Who knows at this point?
There's probably a 1,000 triple threat. There was 3 on this show.
Yeah. So I'm going to add this to you as well, Betty. Did any of the triple threats on Raw beat Shawn Legacy, Shotzi is done, and Devon Evans?
This kind of came close. This kind of came close. Because people nearly died in this match, I'm not helping it. I'm not allowing it.
Overall, great thing. And also, Levi commented that Penta has been looking great. Penta looks like a star every week. I don't understand what he's doing. Or I understand AEW is doing, but he's too charismatic to not be. He's being presented as a star.
He was being held back by Alex. I don't know what they were doing.
Yeah,
and I would like to. Alex.
I'll add this: is Penta going to win now that he qualified the Money in the Bank? Because I think he actually should be favored.
No,
he can be favored.
Don't you think it might be Seth again?
It seems like we can go Seth, but also fuck Seth.
I don't want it to be Seth. I don't want it to be Seth, but it sounds more likely that he's going to do it. Pin Jey Uso, in the main event of Logan,
Money in the Bank,
and
Cena, and
Logan and Cena, and
so you have that option. And I'm assuming CM Punk is going to qualify, right? Will he be the last person to qualify for the men's? Because where's his feud going? Because
he is too old to be in a ladder match.
Yeah, he don't have to do much, man. It's just multi-person ladder match. All he has to do is climb the ladder and grab the briefcase. But with that being said, that's why I think Rollins isn't winning. I think Punk has to cause him or something along that line because he is feuding with Sammy and Punk right now, and it doesn't make sense for him to be in this Money in the Bank with those guys, taking time off. And it seemed like they continued the Punk feud coming back this Monday at the end of the show.
Punk and Sammy were wearing the Palestine flag colors on Saturday Night's main event, which probably isn't going to get mentioned, but on other channels because it's political. But
it's been brought up. But WWE's going to bring it up.
WWE ain't going to bring it up, but it was perfect time to do it on NBC.
Mm-hmm. You know what? I appreciate. You gotta appreciate. I appreciate when wrestlers try, whether you're on the side or whatever they believe in or not. They are, that they do voice their opinions every now and
then. So we go to the Judgment Day Clubhouse where Liv returns as Finn watches happily as Dom gets caught eating Roxanne's nuggies and getting a massage. She tells him things are gonna get interesting, as Raquel has told her what's been going on in the clubhouse. And you know what? Fuck Raquel.
Fuck Raquel for snitching. But also, Finn can't be enjoying that like that. Finn had a Marcus on. This is some tea being spilled right now. Ooh, it's about to happen right now. Like, ooh, he done got caught. His face looked like he done sipped the perfect flavor of Kool-Aid off the pitch and going, ooh. Like he was cheesing the whole time.
So and then Liv continues to roam the halls and runs into Aew and Kyrie. And she's like, what is this, a Damage Control reunion? And they have a match.
Instead of a Kyrie.
Roxanne shoves Kyrie off the top rope, and then Raquel gets her panties in a bunch, which distracts Liv. And then Kyrie pins her from the Oblivion. They argue in the clubhouse about what happened. Liv tells Raquel, you are the veteran. You should have known better.
You should have known better. 100% agree.
Say that Raquel is a veteran.
But it is 100% true. What is she upset? What was Raquel upset about? Roxanne helping her win? Like, you caused a distraction, which helped me cheat. We should be on the same page here. We both want to Liv to win.
If I have to hear Raquel go something, nah, Chiquita, one more time, I'm going to throw a knife.
One of the thumbnails was Liv returns, Judgment Day dissension continues. It just keeps going on. This is the longest storyline ever. Just break up already. Because what, Roxanne about to take Dom from Liv now? Is that where we're going? Is Dom about to do a triple heel? Dom about to triple down on his heel, turned on his father, then Rhea, now Liv.
Tozawa takes on Rusev. Rusev ends Tozawa. Sheamus comes out there, stare down, and he leaves.
Yeah. I mean, history. Manny, I thought for a second they were going to shake hands, ready. You were going to get your faction back. They were going to start the building.
To get my faction back, I need Wade.
Wade will come out of retirement court. It's not
complete without Wade. It is not complete without Wade, and you know it.
When Michael Cole said these men have history, have teamed together, I was like, "You damn right they have." Something that didn't work out at all. We got Del Rio back.
Well, because we can't have Del Rio on TV. you know, we can't have Del Rio on TV.
I'm just saying he's hovering around. We can get this faction, man. The United Nations.
The League of Nations.
League of Nations.
We have a World Tag Team Championship match. The War Raiders take on the Creeds versus the New Day. This match was so average. Average.
You being nice by saying it's average. I gave 2 fucks about this, and Ivar is looking fat, and therefore this match is done.
Well, this match gets a strike for being a triple threat and a tag match.
Yeah. I agree.
Jey Uso comes out. He says Logan and Cena are going to get yeeted on at Money in the Bank. He gets interrupted by Gunther. He congratulates him on 15 years of the Uso and his first title defense. Says he held the title longer than he expected, but he's got his hands full right now. Seth's long-term plan. Some of his friends are in trouble, and when they need Jey, he's right there, no question. That's a great quality for a human, but it's not a great quality for a great champion.
Champion! Yes! He's speaking the truth. Jey, you can't have side quests as a champion. If you're building up the roster, you can have side quests. You can't have that in the middle of the champion. You'll get your ass beat.
He's taking the title back. Jey said he's done with everyone saying his days as champion are numbered. Says he ain't overlooking Gunther. He knows what he's about. At the end of the day, he's fighting for the fans' support. And in Phoenix, he's going to make him tap out again.
So what do you got for going on here? Do we get Gunther Jey again? Or does Jey lose that title before he even gets to Gunther?
When is the Gunther match?
The night after Money in the Bank.
I think it'd be Seth at that point.
So you got Seth versus Gunther?
I think someone's cashing the Money in the Bank. You can't just have 2 champions in a match and not cash in. That is ridiculous.
Well, man, they can do all that tease. They can tease it for multiple times. They come out and they don't do it. You know, and linger that shit on for like 6 years. But I figure Seth. If Seth wins, he's cashing in. But it's depending on who wins. If Penta wins, if you go that route, Penta ain't what you call him. He ain't cashing in that night.
Cody's got a new podcast, Marcus.
It's the same one he had last time.
Yeah, but I don't want to hear him talk to Brandy.
I need Brandy to spill the tea about what she's been doing. And Cody need to ask her the real question. When I came back to WWE, you thought you were coming back too? That's the question I want to hear. That's the only question I want to hear. But I think it's a strike for me for WWE and lack of creative. How dare they do back-to-back weeks of talking about a wrestler and their podcast and their guest is their significant other. We got that with Stephanie and Hunter, and now we got it with Brandy and Cody. Who's next? John Cena and Nikki? I'm down. I'm down. Let's do it.
Why
did you want to put a baby in me, damn it? Why did you want to marry me, bitch? Just all drama.
Lyra comes out, says Becky politicked her way into a rematch. She's beaten her twice before. Says Becky's going after her fiance. Now it's personal. At Money in the Bank, she's going to hurt her and she's going to break her ego. Becky comes out, personal? You cost me opportunity at the Money in the Bank. I was done with you and I was moving on to bigger and better things. Becky, and they added the stipulation to this, and this is ridiculous. If you beat me, Lyra, I'll never challenge for that title again. But if I win, you gotta raise my hand. What in the Santos Escobar is this?
Well, you know Becky's gonna cheat and win, right?
That's not the point, Marcus.
She's gonna cheat and win, and raising someone's hand to damn well they cheated. It's ridiculous. So I'm assuming she's gonna raise her hand and get her heat back, but I give Becky a strike for taking Miro's gimmick of talking about her hot, flexible husband. That is a ripoff of someone else and their hot, flexible wife. I'm just saying. I don't obviously call him flexible.
No, sexy husband.
Yeah,
is what she said. Finn Balor takes on Seth Rollins versus Sami Zayn. As Sami Zayn's coming out, Karen reminds him he could have took that deal and gone to SmackDown, but he had to do it his way. Hey, Sami, you know you ain't winning that title. I'll deal with you later.
Cross made the show. Got a decent pop.
I'm telling you now. If you said that to me before I was about to go into a match, I ain't winning no match. That's on my mind the whole way through.
Yeah. So Karrion Kross mind games continue. Got a decent pop on the crowd when he showed up. Is this man ever gonna make it to the ring?
No.
He just shows up in the back and he does his little sayings and he try to recruit people or mess with their minds or whatever his game is. Is he ever coming to the ring?
No, this man's all talk. You ain't ever see him in the ring. This man's all talk.
But it's working for him. It's working for him. I don't know how this is working for him, but it is working for him.
No action is this man. Yeah. Amongst the near falls and nonsense, Dom comes out, throws a chair in the middle of the ring, which allows Seth to stomp on Finn for the win.
Finn deserved this. He deserved it for enjoying the Dominic drama. And I'm assuming this is, are we officially going to turn Finn or Dom face to end this?
Yeah. But I think it's more likely to turn Dom face.
You turn Dom face?
He's
I understand Dom being face, but I think I turn Finn face. Get him back into that demon phase, maybe made a Venom. Maybe he has time. Maybe he had to get a second chance.
Well, they're going to end up splitting the Judgment Day, and I think one half goes one way and the other half goes the other way. So I think it'll be Finn and Roxanne, and maybe JD, and then the others, and then Carlito just in the middle, like, who wants me?
Well, yeah, because Raquel and Liv are showing dissension. I'm assuming Dominic is going with Roxanne. Those chicken nuggets are a hard bargain. She bought a platter. Not as good as the one.
Tendies. He's a tendy man.
He like both. He like nuggies and tendies.
You gotta pick a side.
He does not with that mustache. Not with the women he pulled in, Manny. This man. And by the way, no one take dating advice from Dominic Mysterio. If you grow out a mustache and a mullet and all you eat the chicken tendies, you're not pulling Liv, Roxanne, or Rhea. You're not doing it.
Did you watch his interview with Stephanie McMahon?
No.
At one point, she asks him, name 3 adjectives I think your wife would describe you. And he's like, well, first of all, Stephanie, what's an adjective?
For those in America, adjective.
It's a descriptive word. It's a descriptive word for those that don't know.
Yeah, it's adjective. Yeah, for those who don't know. For those who don't know, it's
I enunciate.
I'm sorry, in America, adjective. It's the correct word. You sound like you got a mission with objective.
Adjective.
Yeah.
Objective.
We got now I don't even know which one's correct. Oh God, adjective. Adjective or objective.
See, when you say that word, do you know what it sounds like? What you're saying to me is additive.
Additive? What's additive?
Yeah, like you add something like
additive. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Abject. I can't even say it no more. I'm just. This is an English class. Y'all know the difference. We weren't even using the red background. Who knew? with the monkey upside down over there. I don't know why.
That's the tribal chief version of this logo.
Yeah. But it's the red one. It's the red bread. Yeah. So all that happens. Moving on to the main event, I think.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah. So Seth stomps on Finn for
the finish. I mean, with
Yeah.
CM Punk and all that.
Oh, and then CM Punk comes out, GTS's Seth, then
Yeah.
runs away like a little bitch he is.
Well, he wasn't gonna beat Braun and Braun. Braun and Braun are a dangerous group of people. So
Braun is dangerous.
Yeah, Braun is gonna do something. Or as someone called him, Braun and Braun security. He's upgraded.
Oh, that's good.
He's upgraded. So overall, I thought Raw was fine. Bronson and Sons. Overall, I thought Raw was fine. It went by really fast. I thought it was a really quick show. I didn't think that it dragged on. I know it's the usual length of like 2.5 hours, but
there was more wrestling on it than normal. There's more wrestling on it than normal. I think that's what slowed it down. There wasn't that much. There wasn't too many backstage segments. There wasn't too many in-ring talking segments. There was mainly only Seth and Becky and Lyra and Jay. That was it.
Yeah,
two main ones.
My question for you, Manny. I don't believe Paul Heyman, Seth Rollins, Bronson Reed, and Braun Breaker have a name for their faction, right? Seems like they're always hinting at stuff, but it just seems like there's nothing concrete. I have a name for them.
Go on.
I'm going to call him the Vision. He is the visionary. Paul Heyman laid out the vision of what he sees Braun Breaker in, future main events. He sees Bronson Reed as Tsunami Guy.
It's basically what he said. It is basically what he said.
He killed Seth Rollins with Tsunami. He did what they did one night. But he ain't got no future in this business. He's here to take pins. He's here to take pins for my guys here. What would you call them?
I don't like it because it makes you think of Vision.
Oh yeah, the vibrator from the Marvel Universe. Who causes the galaxy because she didn't want to get rid of her fucking vibrator. Her and Quill. I blame them both. I got snapped away for that one for 5 years. I
don't know. 3 men and a tan.
3 men and a tan. Paul Heyman could be the baby. 3 men and a baby. Paul Heyman's the baby.
It's hard to tell with this because they should have a name, but again, it doesn't necessarily matter sometimes.
Yeah, but I don't like saying there's Braun and Seth, or Seth and them, or Heyman's guys, or something. They need something just to collect it all together.
I do like Braun and Braun security. Seth and Braun and Braun security, or Seth and Braun and Sons.
I feel like Seth Rollins should be in a faction where it's Seth Rollins and then you give him another name, like Glass Knight and the Pips. Like you one of those. Like, how about you're not just a part of the group, or Prince and the Revolution?
I do need the bronze basically not to be wearing black because they did just look like security guards or waiters at a fancy bar.
Yeah, but I don't want to fuck with them. As someone posted, they look like this looks like a strip club organization where Seth is the owner, Paul's his accountant, and he got your 2 bouncers of Braun and Braun.
Yeah, just like Seth and some goons. That's what it is.
Yeah. I mean, he ain't nothing but the Shredder. Or he's Lord Zed. By the way, shout out to New Day for their Giant Gonzalez cosplay. I never thought I'd see that. Never thought I'd see that in my life. And now that I've seen it, I'm going, how come no more people haven't did this? I actually enjoyed that. That popped me because I was like, I was not expecting this. This is ridiculous.
No one needed it. That was the other thing. No one needed this.
That should have been their WrestleMania attire. I'm so busy late. I also agree with how is JBL not involved in this Chad Gable thing? How is he not involved in the AAA feud? So whatever's going on in that show. Maybe he
was there a final thing with this JBL coming out during Nick Nemeth matches and stuff like that?
I don't know. I don't know if we ever concluded this.
Was there a final piece to that, or did that just fizzle away?
Don't know. What else?
Oh, I watched
He was
TNA
the blackest
Explosion
man in
this
wrestling.
afternoon.
Huh?
I watched TNA Explosion today.
Whoa. Okay. Why?
The main event on that show was Harley Hudson versus that girl Myla Grace, and I've seen them both in Pro Wrestling Eve.
Okay. So you're
That
like,
was
look
the
at them, they're
Eve
stars
final.
now.
That was
Does
the
it make you
Eve
sad?
final. That was the Eve main event. However, on AEW Double or Nothing, the people that work for Eve or have worked for Eve lost both matches. So Will Ospreay lost his match, and Jamie Hayter lost her match.
Damn. It's the end. It's the end. Shows
But
your
yeah.
promotion, Manny. It's not elite.
But yeah, I need to go toilet, so I am ending the show today.
Okay. Levi paid for Dodo, but that's due to us really they got money worth for watching pay-per-view. They're not a reputation of being a big event company. But
They're not because they're still operating a small like venues and stuff like that, smaller venues. But I think we also all have to remember they've only been around for 6 years. So like we need to stop thinking of them as challenging the big fish. They are on the come up.
It's hard for me to stop thinking they're on the charge of challenging the big fish when the big fish think they're playing defense on them.
Yeah, but do you know what? Will thinks they're on the tail, and thing is, I get you can think you're on the tail. Like I think you're chasing them, definitely. I think you're not, but you're a bit far off from where you want to be, though.
Yeah. If you want to use the chase analogy, they are in a high-speed chase, but the officers are keeping their distance for safety reasons.
Yeah.
That's where we're at.
Yeah.
You guys don't get many high-speed chases on the news in London, right?
No.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm going to put you full screen. I'll be back.
No, we're done. We're getting the show. We're getting the show. There's no reason. Go take your shit in peace. Go take your shit in peace, Manny. I don't understand why you're leaving me for like the next 10 minutes while you go take your shit. All right. With that being said, I guess I could go out of full screen and talk about these damn kids in Harry Potter. I'm looking forward to the TV show. This image does not sell me. These kids look AI generated. They look more like Pixar characters than they actually do real life kids. And I think it's going to be a solid show. It could go deeper than the actual movies did because they have more time to flesh out all the stories and some of the stuff in the book. But then again, it could also end up being an absolute disaster. But who knows? Who knows? We were talking about, me and Manny were talking about how they turned Snape black or they did some race changing. I don't think it matters too much about whether Hermione or whoever is black or not. But, you know, someone brought up if the James Potter is harassing Snape as they were children, that means James Potter may be a racist. So that does kind of change his character just a little bit. But you know what? I look forward to the show. I think this is something for a new generation. And you know what? Harry Potter's old. It needs to be updated anyway. All those kids are in their 70s already. What else is there to talk about? Well, back in full screen. Manny's still not back. The show could have ended. But for Manny, I'm going to just end the show right here. I am Marcus the Grand Finale. He's been the ambiguous Lord Manny Hayes. I'm sure he's shaking his penis right now.
I'm Lord Manny Hayes.
And this is the Untitled Manny and Marcus show where Manny has come back and he's doing his little dance. I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Tune in to Thursday and Saturday for more shows.
Wait, let me ask you something. Let me ask you something about
I was out.
Let me ask you something about this Harry Potter show.
Okay.
Is it going to be like one book per season, or is it going to be like we're going to do one book, have it overlap to the next season, blah 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 blah?
I think it's I think I don't know, but I think it's going to be one book per season. But they may probably split they could split the last few books into maybe more.
The thing is, I don't think I would like that because then you would hope you're gonna lose it. You may lose interest by the time you get to the last book, or are they gonna have?
Well, you gotta hope you're alive.
Yeah, are you gonna have creative license and change some bits and stuff?
Well, it's fitting. I think they're going to go one book, 7 years, Manny. 7 years, and they're shooting them all probably back to back to back.
They should, because these kids are going to age.
Yeah, they're going to age. They're going to be like 70, just like the other kids. So.
Yeah, but Harry Potter stayed the same height from like the third.
Yeah, he didn't grow. That was the problem. With Harry. He didn't grow,
grew, except him.
Yeah, everybody. He's just like, well, I'm Harry Potter down here. How you guys doing?
Because Neville got fucking huge.
Yeah, Neville lost weight, became 7 feet tall. I thought he was in the NBA. I thought it was Austin Rivers.
Neville ended up becoming the Undertaker.
Yeah. But we'll see. I think the show's gonna work out. I hope it works out because you know what, they do get to flesh out a lot of stuff that's not in the movies, because the movies were, we gotta get this shit done in like 2 hours. Well,
I hope we don't get filler episodes.
Well, I think the book has enough material that you can, like, you know, not.
If you give me one season, 10 episodes, an hour each, I think you can cover a lot more in the book.
Yeah. You should be.
I don't want a 22 episode series.
Nah, I don't think they're going more than 8 episodes a season, to be honest. Do the budgetary, because even the HBO's moneymaker, the House of the Dragon or House of Dragon or whatever, they only go like 8 episodes, sometimes 6 and shit. So the budgetary reasons, I think they're only going to do it. Yeah.
You don't get tired. You don't get tired with the show. That, like, if they did do 7 books and they were 10 episodes each, or 8 to 10, I think you won't get as tired as you would with the older ones.
And it's not even me getting tired. You know who I'm not worried? I'm worried about the writers and the creative team getting tired. Because after a while, you're gonna get burnt out. They're probably spending a decade. They have dedicated probably a decade to their life on this one. That's all if they don't get fired or whatnot. They're gonna be burnt out writing by season 2, 3. Like, I got nothing good to actually say. You know, just copy the book. Just copy the fucking book dialogue. Don't change anything. And then you never know if this is going to get pulled off the air, because J.K. Rowling can come out and be like, well, fuck this group and all that. So you never know what can happen.
Yeah.
You think P-Valley suffered from budget cuts? Who's P-Valley?
What the fuck that is?
I don't know what P-Valley is. But yeah, probably. Everything gets budget cuts, though, at the time. Like, hey, you driven out enough money. I think Harry Potter's going to be successful, whether... Even if it's good or bad, I think you're gonna keep the audience. The lore, the people are still there. It's like Star Wars people. They're just there. They will stay there to shit on it for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, I know. I'm not even watching all the stuff that's coming up on Disney Plus. I'm not watching Andor. I'm not watching all this other stuff that's come up on too much. It is too much to follow what's going on with this story now. You keep adding shit, some of the cartoons and shit to fill in blanks. I'm like, I ain't got time.
Manny, I can sum it up in one thing. Ain't nothing new happened. You want to tell me something Star Wars? Ain't nothing new happened in Star Wars.
Thanks.
In 30-something years, ain't nothing new happened. Yes, you have other stuff going on, all these side quests and side characters, but the main story is the Death Star blew up. And then it blew up again. That's it.
Because I tell you what, the best story, Star Wars story, is the video game one that's being made by EA.
They're working
I think that's gonna finish with the next one that's coming out in the next couple of years, and then that would have been a good. That was a good story, but you can see him possibly turning to the dark side again, as they always do.
Yeah, but you know what? How about this Star Wars? Let me throw something at you. Let's fuck off with the Skywalkers. Let's get into a new regime. Fuck the Empire and the Skywalkers. Let's get into the new regime. Let's just show new shit. Tired of these same people. Oh, there goes Palpatine. There goes Darth Vader. Oh, this has something to do with them. I don't care. Let's go. Let's move on. It's old shit. We can move on. Andor is a good show, though. This is not taking. Andor was a really good show. Like, really good. Like, it's the best show about terrorism I've ever seen in my life.
Outside
and authoritarianism.
Called
authoritarianism and terrorism and the creation of all that and things, people dying and sacrificing. It's really well done. You go like, wow, this is good.
Yeah.
But in the end of the day, it didn't add anything new. You knew what was gonna happen. Death Star blows up.
I am going to watch The Karate Kid at some point this week.
Good luck with that.
With Jackie Chan.
Good luck with that. I mean, the Karate Kid. I feel like the Karate Kid. Maybe I'm just a piece of shit. I didn't watch Cobra Kai.
What?
I feel like Karate Kid. To me, I haven't cared about Karate Kid since the next Karate Kid came out 1 million years ago.
No, so the problem with Cobra Kai is I don't think there is this many kids doing karate, one. And two, deciding to have battles with other people doing karate. in parks, in schools and shit.
Yeah.
Because you're more likely to get shot in a school.
Yeah. Good karate bat to school. Yeah. But we'll see. We'll see how that turns out. I think we're in for an interesting summer of movies.
Yeah.
Who's going to win out? I don't know.
Well, at the moment, even though Mission Impossible got mixed reviews, I still think that was one of the better movies of the summer.
Yeah. Yeah, it goes probably Sinners, Thunderbolts. Probably go back. I can go back and forth with that, and then Mission Impossible for me.
Yeah, that is what it is at the moment.
Yes, he knows he's blacked out, man. He sees Sinners. He's seen it. He's got away with it.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna. I think I'll watch Karate Kid probably on Friday.
I think I'm going to ignore it for the rest of my life.
You should watch it.
I just don't care. I see Ralph Macchio in there and I go, fuck this. I see Jackie Chan and I go, fuck this. I don't want to see any of that. They really got to sell me hard on this. Like, what? This is the greatest karate action movie of all time. That's what they got to sell me. This got to be the Ray fucking 2 times a million. It ain't gonna be any of that.
The film I think
it's a sports movie. I don't even know.
The sports movie I'm waiting for is the F1 movie that
F1 looks good.
It
Brad
looks
Pitt,
really good with Brad Pitt.
Yeah, that looks good. Just that looks.
Yeah,
intense.
let's wrap this shit up.
Yeah. Wrap it up. Well, that's Manny. I'm Marcus. We did this already, but tune in Thursday. We'll review AEW Dynamite. And I may change the thumbnail, Manny. I may change the thumbnail.
The best part of this thumbnail, you cut Raquel mostly out of it.
Yeah, I did that for you. But if I do change the thumbnail, I'm trying to think, do I go who won the weekend or do I just go Liv Morgan returns?
Liv Morgan makes return. You could have just wrote Liv Morgan returns. I don't know what you added makes.
I don't know.
Because you put the title Liv Morgan returns and then you added this extra word.
Yeah, I know. Well, she did make her return.
Yeah, but just Liv Morgan returns would have sufficed.
Yeah, it would have been,
So like the video, subscribe. If you haven't, we'll be back on Thursday. Peace!
Peace out.
Penis.